Hello guys, the upcoming video is about Elon Musk and why he believes that money will change with crypto.
I think the cryptocurrency thing is an interesting approach to reducing the error in the database that is called money. I think I have a pretty deep understanding of what money actually is on a practical day-to-day basis because of PayPal.
So a lot of people, that's really interesting. They don't actually know that Elon Musk also helped to create PayPal, like $1 billion money exchange platform that basically uses your email so that you can transfer money from one place to another place. That's quite powerful. He does not only have Tesla and SpaceX. He basically, actually, when you read his biography, he uses the money that he got from PayPal to actually fund those companies initially. And yeah, that's why he understands money quite well, because to create a platform to transfer money, you gotta know what you are doing.
We really got in deep there. And right now, the money system, actually, for practical purposes, is really a bunch of heterogeneous mainframes running old COBOL.
Okay, you mean literally? That's
literally
that literally what's happening
in batch mode.
So that's also interesting. COBOL. You probably have never heard of this programming language unless you are a programmer yourself. But for the people that don't know what COBOL is, COBOL was invented in the last century. It's a programming language that was invented around 1950, 1960. That's when everything started with COBOL. And it was basically used for businesses, for the money transfer and all this kind of stuff. And obviously today they still use it for the money supply and everything, the banks and the government, and they haven't really updated everything. And now obviously you kind of know technology moves on quite fast, and they still use a really, really old programming language. Of course, there were some updates so that they can keep up kind of with today's standards, but that's definitely not the ideal solution.
Mode. Okay.
in patch mode.
Yeah. Pity the poor bastards who have to maintain that code. Okay, that's a pain. That's pain.
Not even Fortran, it's Cobalt. Yep.
It's COBOL. And the banks are still buying mainframes in 2021 and running ancient COBOL code. The Federal Reserve is like probably even older than what the banks have, and they have an old COBOL mainframe. And so now, so the government effectively has editing privileges on the money database, and they use those editing privileges to make more money whenever they want, and this increases the error in the database that is money. So I think money should really be viewed through the lens of information theory, and so it's kind of like an internet connection. Like, what's the bandwidth? Total bit rate. What is the latency, jitter, packet drop? Errors in the network communication. Just think of money like that, basically. I think that's probably the right way to think of it, and then say what system, from an information theory standpoint, allows an economy to function the best, crypto is an attempt to reduce the error in money that is contributed by governments diluting the money supply as basically a pernicious form of taxation.
So what he basically means here is that the government can just print more money at will, and basically the taxpayer covers that debt with their taxes that they have to pay every year. So basically, if the government goes into debt, and how do they say that's okay? They say the next generation is going to pay for it with their tax dollar. And that basically does not make sense, because you all know that when you work, and the currency is inflated, then you won't get a raise to keep up with the inflation. You basically have to switch your job so that you can a little bit keep up with inflation, but you still have to pay taxes. And yeah, that's like they make more debt, the value of the money goes down, and you still earn the same. And there are less and less young people in the Western world, so this strategy does not really work that well so far. But obviously, he makes an attempt why crypto can fix that.
So both policy in terms of with inflation and actual like technological cobalt, like cryptocurrency takes us into the 21st century in terms of the actual systems that allow you to do the transaction, to store wealth, all those kinds of things.
Like I said, just
In
think of
theory.
money as information. People often will think of money as having power in and of itself. It does not. Money is information, and it does not have power in and of itself. Again, applying the physics tools of thinking about things in the limit is helpful. If you are stranded on a tropical island and you have $1 trillion, it's useless because there's no resource allocation.
That's an important point that he made here, because usually in today's society with materialism and all this kind of stuff, people love money. They worship it kinda in a way, because if you have more money, they can do so many things with that money, and yeah, that's why they fall in love with it. But if you can't actually buy anything with money, then money is basically useless.
Money is a database for resource allocation, but there's no resources to allocate except yourself. So money is useless. If you're stranded on a desert island with no food, all the Bitcoin in the world will not stop you from starving.
Yeah.
So
Holding won't help.
So like just think of money as a database for resource allocation across time and space, and then what system it is, what in what form should that database or data system, what would be most effective? Now there is a fundamental issue with say Bitcoin in its current form, in that the transaction volume is very limited, and the latency the latency for a properly confirmed transaction is too long, much longer than you'd like. So it's actually not great from a transaction volume standpoint or a latency standpoint. So it is perhaps useful as to solve an aspect of the money database problem, which is the sort of store of wealth or an accounting of relative obligations, I suppose.
Yeah, but I believe that's really important, because the usual person that does not want to invest their money and just keep their money in their bank accounts, they are not aware that their buying power is going to decrease because of inflation. And if you store your money with Bitcoin, then yeah, the value will still be the same. If you earn $100 or 100 Bitcoin in the future, yeah, then it will still be 100 Bitcoin in 10 years. That's now it's quite a lot of money, 100 Bitcoin, but it would still be the same, and that's important. It's not less, because inflation ate up the buying power. And what we said with Bitcoin, obviously, Bitcoin is not the best at everything, but there are other cryptocurrencies around that have also worked on this problem, and this might also work in the future just with another currency if Bitcoin does not improve their transaction speed.
But it is not useful as a currency, as a day-to-day currency.
But people have proposed different technological solutions,
Like Lightning.
Lightning Network and the layer 2 technologies on top of that. I mean, it's all, it seems to be all kind of a trade-off, but the point is, it's kind of brilliant to say that just think about information, think about what kind of database, what kind of infrastructure enables that
Yeah, so
exchange
say
of
like you're
information.
operating an economy, and you need to have something that allows for the efficient to have efficient value ratios between products and services. So you got this massive number of products and services, and you need to you can't just barter. It's like that would be extremely unwieldy. So you need something that gives you the uh, a ratio of exchange between goods and services, and then something that allows you to shift obligations across time, like debt and equity, shift obligations across time.
So that was basically it why Elon Musk believes that crypto can fix the money that we see today. He basically talks about inflation, how that hurts the people and the economy, because too much inflation is never good, and especially when you have an entity that can print more money at their will, that's not healthy, especially if you don't agree with what they are doing.
If you guys like that video, here is another video, and you can also subscribe down below.